Bless you. Hello, everyone. Just starting a few minutes early to let people have time to log in, see what's happening. I just want to say, for anyone who has comments or questions, please hold off on typing them up right now and leave that for the end of the reading, just so that it's easier for me to have the talk back, which will be an amazing thing. So yeah, we're just gonna hold off a little bit until more people can come on through. Hi everyone, welcome. We have the most amazing Marshall Vial helping with sound and tech today. Do you want to say hi, Marshall?
Hello.
Yeah. Again, this is the first time ever doing a live reading of this show, and we're coming at it from the basement of our house, which is great because self-isolation. So that means, since we are in the basement, that there could be sounds from the street, from the plumbing. We don't know what could happen. If something happens, we'll just bear with it. It's pretty crunch style version of reading. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Katie. Yeah, thank you for saying that. Yeah, and if, like I was saying before, we have a talkback at the end of the reading that I recommend you staying by. In that talkback, you can ask all your questions, comment on what you think of the show, and yeah, just get all your thoughts out there. I'm pretty honest person, so I look forward to answering your questions, but I do recommend saving those questions and those comments for the end of the live reading and not putting them in the chat now, just because it'd be super hard to scroll my way through and find out where they start. So anything you're thinking of when you're watching the show, I recommend writing it down so you don't forget, or yeah, just, saving it for the talkback after this, which will be on the same video. Unless something happens, because technology, right? All right. What time is it?
6:25.
6:25. Cool, yeah. 5 minutes. The starting a little bit earlier was the lovely Marshall Vial's idea, to give people time to come in here and get ready for the live reading. This is my water bottle today, so just want to let you know this is just water. Yay! People be watching. Yeah. And if you hear a little meow, that's a cat. Again, we're people living, doing this from our basement. Oh, thank you, Tyson. All right, as I was saying, I'm just going to keep saying this. Any comments or questions, I recommend holding off putting it in the chat until the end of the live. We'll give you some minutes to get the questions going, but there will be a talk back after this with me. So yeah, I just recommend holding all your questions and comments and everything till the end of the live reading, because that'll just make it easier on us. And comments and everything. Oh, that's me. This should be interesting. I've never done anything like this before. I also just want to say I'm grateful to be able to share this story. It was very kind of the National Theatre School of Canada to invite me to be a part of their Art Apart program. Well, I applied, but they still invited me, which was awesome. And and their team has been working with me to pretty much promote this live reading, which is an incredible feat to be happening right now. What's happening in the arts community is that everything is shut down because we need the public and people normally to present our work. So the fact that I'm able to, even if it's a little dingy, in my own basement, able to share this story with you means a lot. And the grant they donated to this show will be well spent when the stay-at-home is lifted and we can continue on with future renditions of this show. I'll keep you up to date in the group, but yeah, I'm just excited to, continue building and creating this story. I guess I'll give you a little insight. This story first came to me from, a 14-bar poem that I wrote over 4 or 5 years ago when I was graduating university. It took years after that, 2 years actually, for it to actually become something more. It was during the Ignite Festival 2019, the provocation series, that I asked these really amazing people I know, Kay Hall, Nick Wool, and Marshall Vial, to join me on this journey for pretty much no pay whatsoever. They just dedicated a month, which is a lot of time for an artist, to help me create the first rendition of this script, which you will be hearing very shortly. Within a month, we created it and then performed it immediately after. One of the songs we got the day before we were supposed to perform it. So with this reading, I just wanted to reinvigorate the story, find some more inspiration, continue the conversation, and mostly I'm looking forward to, readapting, reinvigorating, adding more amazing things. What's our time at, dear Marshall?
6:30.
It's 6:30. Is it time? I think it's time. Okay. I remember a young child, young thing, never knew what growing up in that life would bring. I mean, how could she? I understand that a woman and a man don't make a plan, and every second gets harder and harder to take on back onto the start. These children could be brought up feeling unwanted, not needed, not wanted. Yeah, you could say she's lucky, that would be comparing, and I am merely presenting. Allow me to introduce myself, the presenter, a present person recollecting a past that presently the events have cast a shadow, a type of disposition on life. Nonetheless, here we are, so listen and listen closely. Keep your heart open and your lips shut as I take you through past the cusp of this young thing's story, vastly growing, born of a woman and a man, with no heart between them, but the lives they bore, the lies they fantasy. Mom and Dad were always fighting. They were always fighting. Since the presenter began to be, began to see, began to scream her orange and to paper via writing. I want to have a conversation with you. I understand it's going to be completely one-sided, just a one-sided conversation where I will be venting a lot. I realize I'll be talking a lot at you. I'm pretty sure any questions I do have won't be answered. It'll be me, just talking to myself, essentially. Talking to silence. Talking to a void. Talking through these memories I have, these feelings I have. Hello. You may not know me yet, but I have a long and complicated relationship with you. My history has always walked alongside you, even if I didn't realize it. I remember the first time I experienced happiness at school. The assignment was to write about your favorite place. I wrote a poem called My Tree. In my tree, I am free to do as I please. I climb to the top and I dare not stop. It was a hit. When I read it out loud, all my classmates clapped. I like to think the teacher didn't make them clap. I really wish it was an applause formed of their own volition. Honestly, I had no friends in that classroom, or at all, growing up. One or two that stuck with me in my early childhood. Maybe because I tried too hard to be liked, or maybe people just didn't like me. It was a lonely time. That is why the clap shocked me. I mean, they didn't like me, and so how could they like something I wrote? Well, how could they? See? You are just as speechless and baffled as I was. Even though I had no friends, I had family. They were always with me as my friends, as my social life, my only social life, but so what? They loved me unconditionally, I think. I don't really know. I mean, maybe there were secret conditions. Anyways, there was this circle of trees that grew in, that felt like magic to me. They grew in a perfect circle surrounded by all other pine trees. My siblings always climbed trees. My tree was based on climbing trees with my family. The only thing is that poem is a complete lie. I got clapped at for lying. The trees are my favorite place, and my siblings did climb them. I was just always too scared. I wanted to. I tried multiple times, but it was sticky. The sap, the bugs, the length. The trees were fucking tall. I wanted to climb the trees so bad that I wrote about them. I didn't mean to lie. It just sounded so good. The rhymes, and people who didn't like me clapped. It took me lying to get validation. A moment where I felt like I belonged. From grade 1 to grade 6, that was my biggest worry. to be seen and liked by my classmates, to be seen by my mom, to be loved by her. See, that's the thing. Well, you are always a certainty for where I'll end up at the end of my lifetime. I could spend my entire lifetime uncertain of my mom's love. It's all about perspective. I perceived my mom didn't love me. Alcohol, drugs, and emotional abuse was my normal with her. With each bender, she would invite you into her arms and push me out of them. I wanted her love so much that eventually I began repressing 90% of every bad thing she ever did to me, because I needed her to love me. I do remember one moment. I was preventing her from going out to the bar. I didn't want to spend the night scared for her, so I stood up, locked the door, and she yelled, hit, and pushed me away. My older sister came running to stop her. I rarely got to visit my mom, and I was tired of spending those visits alone, scared in the apartment waiting. Sometimes she wouldn't even come back. Sometimes I'd have to find my own way back to my dad's and other mom's house. Sometimes they could come and get me. Sometimes it'd be one of my mom's ex-boyfriends or my auntie driving me and my older sister home. For the longest time, in pursuit of my mom's love, my big sister would come with me to those rare visits to protect me as best she could. I didn't realize that my big brother and big sister had already given up on getting love from her. Quite early, actually. They didn't want to break my heart, so they supported me as best they each could. With a rare friend throughout my early life, and even rarer moments with my mom, my family were my life and comfort. My dad, other mom, older brother and sister, younger brother and sister, helped me survive the bad, because they are the good. Then you came. Allow me to introduce the Young Things family. One mom, addicted to many things, couldn't be saved, which means Papa must roll. With mortar and bricks, he laid ground for the kids so brave, bringing them hope. I thought you should know he couldn't do it alone, so he found a new soul who he loved, and from the oven came out 2 more. She kept them alive, but now there were 5 crying inside to help their babies thrive. He couldn't do it alone, all alone. Oh. Just like that, she was mom, but not the same one. Yeah, something was wrong. She had to stay numb. Mother and father doing their best till the father's lips felt a cancerous kiss that shook the family, unleashed a calamity. See, cancer was her father, just a new form of torture, a new problem. She focused on often, not just a small one. Not even her own mom could have seen that one. Decidedly she dedicated time to her family. Dad and mom, old and young, sister, brother, family. Young thing couldn't see exactly what was happening. Time for her awakening. These new thoughts kept on creeping in. Decidedly she dedicated time to her family. Dad and mom, old and young, sister and brother, family. Young thing couldn't see exactly what was happening. Time for her awakening. These new thoughts kept on creeping in. Then she began to see the blood she bleeds, soaking in pride. It took over inside. No aim to be selfless, no aim to be helping, no. Young thing's father continued to fight, continued to die. Courage isn't given, that is a lie. She had to fight the demons inside, the demons inside. Keep up the grin, gain courage within. Fam's hearts turned black, then her father would crack, and her dad turned to ash. Yeah, that man was gone now, turned to ash. The love of another turned into a vicious attack. Yeah, that man was gone now, turned to ash. Then she began to see the blood she bleeds, soaking in pride. It took over inside. No aim to be selfless, no aim to be helping, no, no. I got to first meet you, or know of you, when my dad sat us down and told us he had cancer. He cried. We all did. Maybe you don't remember that. I mean, why would you? He wasn't dead yet. Not your problem. Suddenly, my perception of what was truly important changed. It was difficult to care about being liked by friends or even loved by my mom. What mattered was my dad surviving, battling you with surgery after surgery, with chemotherapy, with a will to live. I went years without talking to my mom during that time. I stopped reaching out, and there was silence. I was comfortable with that silence. I didn't even realize it was there. I was used to it. Or maybe that's why I'm good at one-sided conversations. When my family decided to move suddenly, as my dad was in remission, I realized I had no one to say goodbye to. In this new place we lived, you followed us. You were there when my dad sat us down and said, "The cancer is back. The doctors say there is nothing else we can do. I have 6 months to live." Tears. Again. There was this emptiness in me. I continued to smile, laugh, and joke with my family, but I was never honest about the part of me that was disappearing each time I imagined a life without him. I never told anyone that every day and night I thought of scenarios where you would take him. I couldn't stop thinking. But I could never figure out what it would be like for there to be no dad. As you walked with him, he walked with me and would support me anytime I wanted to potentially embarrass myself in front of my classmates and friends. Yeah, I had friends. I'm actually likable. I would try to act and sing. I still wrote poems too. These poems turned to songs that you had a great influence over. I still had silence from my mom, but my dad would tell me, you have acted, sang, played instruments. All you have to do now is act on TV and be on the radio. He drove me to every rehearsal and was so proud of me when I got the part of a pink lady in my high school's Grease, the musical. That last year with him was the hardest and best time I have had in my lifetime so far. You took him from me the night before my Grease play opened. Did you know that? I remember my older sister came running to me at the end of my dress rehearsal frantic, saying, "Hurry up! Dad's in a coma!" A coma? He was okay, I thought. I thought he would be okay to come see my show, watch my older sister graduate, celebrate my younger sister's birthday, survive longer. He had already surpassed the 6-month mark by another 6 months. I remember I was in the hospital room sitting beside him, while almost every single family member was telling him goodbye and that it's okay to let go. I stayed silent because I was so angry with every single person. It wasn't okay for my dad to be taken by you. My heart never hurt as much. It has never broken like it did when his heart stopped beating. With my dad's dead body beside me, I was still able to make family members and family friends laugh by being me. It's something I learned from him. I comforted others. I didn't comfort myself because I was still angry with you, and I didn't want to be angry with my dad for leaving me, even if it was against his will. Or angry with every person who seemed fine with telling him to let go. I didn't want to be angry with my older brother who told all his friends, which in turn told all my castmates who chose to confront me with it when I just wanted to perform something he was so proud of without thinking he wouldn't be there. I didn't want to be angry with my other mom and family members for not going to my musical anymore. I didn't want to be angry when no one let me speak at my dad's funeral. I didn't want to be angry when I went to thank and comfort mourners who came, and when these people I never knew asked me, "How do you know the deceased?" I didn't want to show my anger when I said, "I'm his daughter." I didn't want to be angry with family who chose to be cruel to me when they found out my other mom made a mistake, because everyone was hurting. and didn't know how to handle you being there. You know, in all the scenarios I imagined, I never thought that when my dad died, living and breathing family members would become so selfish. My other mom made a mistake. I never hated her for it. I thought, how selfish. I thought, one bad thing doesn't cancel out a lifetime of good. I also know people aren't perfect. I mean, my first mom wasn't. I also know she was watching the man she loved slowly die while raising his 5 children. My family broke because my family was hurting. They began to hurt each other and me and my siblings in the crossfire. You have no control over the living, but your influence is there in the aftermath. I never told people how disappointed I was at their selfish actions. I did tell my other mom I would never forgive her for what she did, though I don't hate her for it. I told myself I would never forgive my family for treating me bad when I didn't even make the mistake. I realized lying is pointless, so I stopped. The truth is uncomfortable because I forgave my mom immediately for her mistake and my family members for theirs. Always. After I cried about it. I grieved for my dad every day and wanted to talk about him at every chance. My family couldn't always handle that. I remember I would call his phone just to hear the voicemail until it was canceled. It was a lonely time and confusing. I had a hard time talking about him in the past tense. After my tears, he was always present tense to me, till it made other people confused and uncomfortable. And when my older sister left for school in a different place, sadness entered. When my older brother left home, trust left with him. Trust of everyone who took him or didn't stop him. This was immediately replaced with my need to protect my little siblings who just lost everything. Like me. The only difference is they had me. I had no one. People were hurting. I was hurting deeper than I cared to admit or acknowledge or let out. Smiles, laughter, jokes, and empathy is what I chose instead of inviting you into my heart and leaving with my dad. You have no control over the living. You have no control over me. Allow me. She had had enough, life was rough, she was fighting. Family didn't know that death was still inviting her to take a seat to the other side behind him. Oh, family couldn't see why the young thing was trying, while all the other ones just float around denying the love and joy and peace are more than dreams for the dying. Oh, Love is the giver, it's always gonna win and it's never gonna wither. No, 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 no. Little did she know that another one would follow, who lied and cast the blame, which left her feeling hollow. Her mom had really left her a sticky pill to swallow. Oh, young thing was always there till his final breath departed, and after 12 long years her life had all but started. Count to 26 minus 4, nearly departed. Oh, hate can't be given, you surrender your heart to a dark cloud of ash. Love is the giver, it's always gonna win and it's never gonna wither. Hate can't be given, you surrender your heart to a dark cloud of ash. Love is the giver, it's always gonna win and it's never gonna wither. Death took her at the end of May, never see her face again. Hidden in dreams, the life we live's not quite as it seems. No, 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 no. Still she's trying not to give up, to give in. She wants to live where light hearts win, where truth and love have a place to begin. So here she is with all this pain left behind, a present gained to new things, mine without the stains. Hate can't be given, you surrender your heart to a dark cloud of ash. Love is the giver, it's always gonna win and it's never gonna wither. Hate can't be given, you surrender your heart to a dark cloud of ash. Love is the giver, it's always gonna win and it's never gonna wither. My mom finally went with you, though. Didn't she? I wasn't with her when she died. I chose to keep her out of my life when I entered university because I was too weak to handle her abuse and the stress that comes with competing in the arts. I told myself that when I graduate, I will be stronger, enough to have her in my life with the little and sometimes twisted love she was willing to give. She died that same month I graduated. Heart attack. Before that, the silence was only broken after Dad was gone. On and off, but still I loved her and sought the attention she would give me until I couldn't repress and handle the abuse that came with it. For 5 years at university, the silence was there when I didn't let my mom be there. I have to live with all the regret I do feel. I didn't go to her funeral because I wanted to grieve and not have to give anyone, anything of me. And since my dad died, every year till my mom died, I went to countless funerals of loved ones. So many that I said I was an expert at dealing with you. When my mom died, it was the only death that I have ever been selfish with. I've been in mourning every single day and night. You walk with me in my memories I hold most dear, and when I talk about you and what you have done to me, I have felt shamed on multiple occasions, which confuses me. I get why people are scared of you, of acknowledging your existence. But why do people let you block the dead from being celebrated like they are still alive in present tense? Why do the living seem to stop living when you take someone that's precious from them? I have only ever lived my life. It has had bad times, which I just spewed and let loose onto you. I think you owe me that. Can't really complain, can you? I'll take your silence as a yes. I've had good times with my other mom and siblings, new friends. I have tried to heal myself and my relationships with family still living. My relationship with my mom, now dead. Dreams with him. Dreams are my connection, a fake reality to reach out. In these dreams I can laugh. In these dreams you can hold me as I cry. In this world of enchantment I am connected. Through this la la land I can say, Daddy, I miss you. You like that one? I like to think that my writing's gotten better. I had a dream about my mom. I ran away from her when she wanted to speak with me. One constant in my life, besides you, are the dreams where I get to talk with those you have taken from me, and even hug them. I know these dreams are real. I've had them since my dad. In the dream, we acknowledge it's a dream, but then we realize it's a world where we could be together again. I've met so many departed in them. But my mom is the only person I ran from. I couldn't face her, knowing I didn't go to her funeral. I woke up in a cold sweat and immediately forgave her out loud because she was the one person I never forgave. I thought if I forgave her, I would be admitting to all the bad things she has done to me and end up letting go of my love for her and becoming too hurt to care. I understand you in so many ways. In ways, on such an intimate level, in ways I don't understand people. You are my normal. I still feel at times lonely and longing for those still alive to ask me about everyone you have taken from me. And ask me how I feel. Just them letting me know it's okay to talk about you. death. I'm still figuring myself out. I am not you, but you are a major part of what drives me to immortalize my loved ones in this letter. It's about them, the good and the bad. Everything that made me love them and fear not being loved by them. I make people uncomfortable. A lot. I'm trying not to be ashamed of what you have done to me. I'm trying to not be quiet about my life because I'm not scared of dying. I'm scared of forgetting. I'm scared of letting my younger self down and giving into silence. No more silence. Sincerely, no, that's not it. Forever yours, weirdly romantic. Eventually yours. Young. No. New thing. It's been a long time coming, felt with fear and pain. Never knew where I was going after losing you that way. But I walk a path that opened with memories of brighter days. And all I have in my mind is what you used to say. You're gonna make it, 5 anchors holding strong. An angel and children, fixing a world full of wrong and trial after trial, giving them hell and love. No matter what's been lost, 5 anchors will be getting undone. You're gonna make it, children I walked with. See, there's a story of a man who stood tall and gave his blood, sweat, and tears for his family. Most of all, lived a life with worry, smiles, laughs, and beers, with wisdom hard to come by and never loving care. With big strong hands he held his angel and children through. Oh, trial after trial he showed truth. You're gonna make it, 5 anchors hold strong. An angel and children, fixing a world full of wrong and trial after trial, giving them hell and love. No matter what's been lost, 5 anchors will be getting undone. You're gonna make it. You're gonna make it. You're gonna make it. Children I walked with. Now there's a story of a man who held true. Smiles, laughs, and worries, 5 anchors to boot. Now this man had a trial, one only he could face. He gave his tears to his family as he told them his fate. He stood tall, big strong hands helping his angel 5 acres holding strong, an angel of children, fixing a world full of wrong and trial after trial, giving them hell and love. No matter what's been lost, 5 acres will be getting that done. You're gonna make it. You're gonna make it. You're gonna make it. Children that walks with me. Now there's a story of 5 acres standing tall. As it were, as it were. I remember a young child, young thing. Never knew what growing up in that life would bring. I mean, how could she? I understand that every moment another child's born, that every second thereafter brings to it problems of its own, that these children could be brought up feeling unwanted, not needed, not wanted. Yeah, I understand you can consider the young thing's life lucky in comparison. But I am not comparing. I am merely presenting. Allow me to introduce myself, the presenter, a present person recollecting a past that presently the events have cast a shadow, a type of disposition on life. Nonetheless, here we are, so listen closely. Keep your heart open and your lips shut as I direct you through, as I bring you past the cusp of this young thing story, vastly growing. Born between a man and a woman with nothing between them except the lives they bore. The lies the woman told, the lies the man told. Yeah, that relation been broken since before the young thing came to be. Her parental connection been at odds, been fighting since before the presenter put her origin to paper via writing. This is the setup of the young thing's family. One woman, one mother, addicted to drugs, drink, and her children's love. One man, one father, raising his spawn, just instilling in his kids the willingness to fight all wrong. Another woman, a true mother, raising 5 children up to be good sisters and brothers. All was well and good in this hectic family, till the father's lips were grazed with a cancerous kiss that shook the family, unleashed a calamity. Just the start. 10 years old, and the young thing's already difficult life seemed to be falling apart. See, cancer was her father. Just a new form of torture, a new problem far more important than the 7 years bullying that stressed her out some. She stopped focusing her energy on just anyone. Decidedly, she dedicated her time to her family, time for her awakening. The members of her fam seemed to be focused on themselves, not sacrificing their pride. It took over their hearts inside and turned it black, reflecting back to the young thing's father as his health deteriorated, began to crack. The illusion of her aunt's and uncle's love began to crack. That man was gone now, turned to ash. 14 years old, with her father gone, the love from some aunts and uncles turned into a vicious attack. See, they began discriminating against the young thing, because she still loved her 2 mothers the same, wouldn't become filled with hate and realign. Instead, she chose to embrace her fate, let her love reach forth and try to mediate, smother the flames, let the anger die away from their blackened hearts. Like her father, she wanted to rise above it. Little did she know, the bully would follow her home. Her first mother would lie, yelling she let her father die alone, claiming the young thing didn't care. When she was there, looking at him, hoping, yes, she was there till his final breath relieved his suffering. The father would no longer be in the family's care. I am merely the presenter. And the young thing's no longer young no more, because the thing is she grew, surviving 13 more years of hate, nothing new, count it. She is 27 now, 23 loved ones gone now, living loved ones still not getting along. Wow. You think they would learn. Her first mother passed away on the 26th of May, 2017. Count it. It seems she will never get what she yearned for, never being able to earn anything but her first mother's toxic love. Still, she won't give in to demands of what it would mean to fit in. Apparitions of her memories will never fade away. 2 parents gone. counting them never coming back again. Presently, her disposition on life is one where light-filled hearts win, where truth and compassion live in the place of one man and one woman who gave birth to the young thing. She's caught up to the present now, so allow me to introduce the young thing. Each death she faced only inspired her to live with no hate. Everything, be it love, death, anger, confusion, are all welcomed inspirations guiding her unpredictable fate. She is willing to ride the future with no fear lingering from the past, no ghost causing her pain to last. Yet count on one thing. Count on what what I turned out to be. A new thing. After my mom died, I wrote those words for a piece I performed titled Ghost around 3 or 4 years ago. I revisited those words and each moment in my life that inspired them in order to write and evolve this show. Play with different mediums to express my sentiments, to return to mourning, and decipher my thoughts and feelings surrounding death. I never stopped mourning. I just never allowed myself the ability to talk about it openly and freely, without shame. Till now, when I decided to write a letter to death and share a part of my story with all of you. I encourage you all to write your own letters, or begin it now. You don't have to share them on my level or at all. You can even destroy them. Just know that you can write, talk, feel without shame. I can't remember who said this. It was a university professor. Death is the most unnatural, natural experience. Or something like that. This concludes the live reading. I want you to take a moment to think of any questions, comments you have for me, and feel free to start writing it in the comments about everything you saw. I also want to invite you the opportunity to write your own letters to death, and if you feel like you want someone to read it unbiasedly, trust me when I say I've been there. So in the group you can find an email, ghost.return.to.mourning@gmail.com. Send me your letters. I was lucky enough to have actual audience members, strangers, come and see my show when this first ran, and they actually wrote me their own letters. And you, by the way, you can keep it anonymous, but if you would like, and what I'm trying to get across with this, with opening up my story to you, is having the conversation surrounding death in our Western society and how there's so much shame and don't talk, don't speak about it. So some lovely audience members shared with me their own stories or their own thoughts and things they're going through. And like back there, I take it with me to every rendition of the show, and I will continue taking with me and collecting these stories to show solidarity. This is something I offer to you. You don't have to do it, but you can. You have every right to. This is the end of the live reading. And now we're gonna start the talk back. This is where I get awkward when there's not a script in front of me. We're gonna start the talk back. Yeah, we're gonna do a talk back. So if you have any comments or questions about the process of writing this, because mind you, as I said earlier, we did this within 1 month. And the hard truth is realizing how vulnerable I personally had to be But it was equally hard for my team, Marshall, Nick, and Kay, to help me evolve this show so it actually was entertaining and a good show, but also they had to take in consideration the fact that I was reliving a lot of trauma by writing this. Oh my gosh, so much going on. Anyways, what I'm saying is, ask me anything. I like to be honest. I like to talk about things. Let's go. All right. So, Marshall, do you have the chat open? Are you able to scroll through it?
Yes, but there's no questions right now.
Okay,
so we
cool.
can open that up. We can give folks a chance to
Sweet.
ask some questions or...
Do you have a question? You've been a part of this since the beginning, so I almost want to ask you a question.
Please don't.
Okay, I won't put him...
There's a lot of folks just who are just very grateful for you for sharing.
Oh, fun.
They really appreciate your powerful voice and your vulnerability and your versatility and the way that you performed your live reading. They're really grateful for a lot of that.
Oh, awesome. I mean, just me, well, as you know, just being an artist, I'm always thinking of 100 things I would want to do better, or when I work on this show in the future, how I would modify the songs to make them stronger, how I want to work on my own voice to, just like on the performance side, to become better, because I don't think I'm at my top level. I'm not anywhere near it. And it means a lot that I'm trying to take compliments. That's part of being kind to yourself and allowing yourself to be honest. I'm trying to take in these compliments and believe them, because sometimes I get too stuck in my own brain about everything I did wrong just now. Yeah. Surprise.
What is it that you feel like you've done wrong?
I feel like my voice could always be stronger. And I feel like, yeah, just, it was definitely a different experience to not do this like how we did it at the Ignite Festival, where I'm just sitting down to sing and go through that and just like not be able to move where my body wants to take me and just live in it and sit in it was hard. So I feel like I want to get better abs and have my diaphragm, is that it? Diaphragm? Cool. That's a word. Strengthen and just stronger so I can belt when I need to belt. And I also want to become a better rapper. That's just always on my mind, in my heart. So yeah.
Everyone wants to know, they said that you said that the show was based on a poem that you wrote.
Yes.
And they're wanting to know just how much of the poem is still ingrained in the piece.
Oh. So it's 100% ingrained. That end of the show, that whole spoken word piece, was the original poem. So not only have we, pretty much the way I wrote it was to look at it from different perspectives. The perspective of the young thing who's living it, the new thing who is stronger, and the presenter who is looking at it from a bird's eye view of this story. And we took the poem. I just decided to put it in the show just in case you didn't get the story. By the end of it, you would have caught on to the whole story in the show. But I separated it into different chapters. Chapter 1, 2, and 3 sent that separation of the poem to Nick Bully, the music producer, and he came up with those 3 songs from the beginning. So it's at every part, and I tried really hard, because like I said, this is a part of the story, to focus all the memories on having something to do with the actual poem, the words. So looking at it from different perspectives, really just... So
what you're saying is it's very much ingrained.
Oh yeah, it's the entire piece, yeah, in different perspectives.
Other folks are just very grateful as well for you for sharing your experiences, and they can really empathize with using humor to share really tough parts about your life. Talk about how you use humor to shed light on some pretty serious topics.
Okay. So, growing up, I say it in the piece that my dad always embraced everything with humor. it's very true. These are real things. I've always wanted attention, being a middle child, not having friends growing up. Yeah, I was always for it. So a lot of the times I would take in what my family would do around me, and like most people, we through any painful experience, we were always making fun of it or making fun of ourselves or our reactions. So those moments where I'm having pause in the piece where I say, what was it? Maybe that's why I'm good at one-sided conversations. Maybe these are realizations. When I was writing the letter itself, I wrote it in one sitting. It took me a month to get to the point where I could actually express myself, but I wrote it in one sitting, and those were thoughts where I had to pause from crying while writing the letter, and I'm like, oh shit, that's why I'm good at one-sided conversations. Like, those are real things I was going through where I'm like, oh, this makes sense. This is why I'm the way I am. And I questioned about putting those things in the piece itself, and that's when a mentor from Ignite was like, no, that's you. Put it all in the piece. And I'm like, okay, isn't it too, like, it's too dark, the comedy, is it? And they're like, no, it's fine. And I'm like, great. And mind you, that's me, like, reining it in. Like, I scaled back. Oh my gosh. There's so many. Yeah.
Excellent. We do have three more questions. One of them wants you to talk about the writing of it. Did you write your lyrics prior to the music being created, or did you write the lyrics based on listening to the music that was created with the piece? What came first, the chicken or the egg?
Oh my goodness. Well, what came first was actually the last song, Bigs. That was a song I wrote over, frick, when did we start university? I wrote it in my first year of university, 7 years ago, and I just had it. Didn't know the melody, didn't know anything. Fast forward a year after, or fast forward to the graduation of university, my mom passed away, and that's what made me want to write the spoken word piece. So I knew the spoken word piece would always be about my dad's death. I just didn't expect my mom to die so soon. So I had the big song sitting on it, did nothing with it. It was just written down. I knew the melody, knew some of the notes, that was it. And then I hammed out the spoken word piece in a sitting and performed it for this apartment show. Then that was done. That I had those two things, those two written pieces. Didn't know what I was doing with my life. For a year, I was still like stagnant in Lethbridge, not doing anything after graduation. And that's when I went to a barbecue and I saw my good friend Nick there. And I was like, okay, well, I'm doing nothing with my life. I'm not emerging. Nothing's happening. I'm sad. What can I do here while I'm waitressing and not doing anything? So I went up to Nick and I was like, very scared, by the way. I don't like, it's hard, it's weird, but you have to put yourself out there to get things done and actually do it. Having no experience creating music or anything, I went to Nick and I was like, can you help collaborate with me? Can you help me make this song something? And he's like, heck yeah. Did it for free, by the way. That's a lot of work. So I sat with Nick for about a week and we created the first song, or the last song in the show, Bigs. Done. I have vocals on it. It's done. Had the piece. Fast forward 2 more years, or a year later, moved to Calgary. Things happen. The career starts picking up. These are very important pieces to me. The career starts picking up. Marshall says, hey, apply for Ignite. And I'm like, with what? I got nothing. So I was like, cool, I'm going to do a show writing a letter to death, off the cusp. And then I looked at the spoken word piece, looked at the one song, wrote the letter, sat with Marshall, Nick, and Kay in 1 month, and then all Nick did was take my spoken word piece, and I really have to highlight this because I believe giving credit where credit was due. Yes, I had melodies. Yes, I was telling him, because we worked on the big song together previously, he kind of knows what my mind says when I say, hey, the emotion must be epic and explorative and it must be a journey. At this point, he can translate that into coming up with the production aspect and the music. So he took the spoken word piece, had a month, and I was like, can you do it? Do you think you can create 3 songs? And he's like, he spent 40 hours or more a week working on those 3 songs, hamming them out. I gave him the spoken word piece, and all I said was like, have fun. have fun with it. And he gave me those 3 songs back, which I love and adore. So the question I kind of forgot, but each piece came at different levels and styles, and they came from different inspirations. It's amazing how long you can sit on a story, and then equally how fast you can like put it together with the help of outsiders' opinions.
So lyrics came first, music came after.
Yeah, he's good at summarizing. I talk.
Amazing. Another viewer wants to know any words of encouragement for emerging artists who are wanting to perform and write.
I would say just do it. And don't stay in your mind, because when I began writing this, when I was hesitant to join the Ignite, it's because in university I never focused on writing. I never was professionally trained. When I asked Nick to collaborate with me, I never created music before. I didn't know I could do it. I assumed that something was in me to do it, but you have to actually just do it. And don't be scared of the rejection of having someone not want to collaborate with you, because chances are you create something and this will forever be created. It's done. It's something for emerging artists. Never treat it as a hobby and see it for what it is, and that's your job. But the most important thing is knowing that your story is important. Yes, you can perform and tell other people's stories and act in Shakespeare and everything, but your story is just as important, if not more so. I think that's the one thing I always struggle with to this day, to right now. Even applying for art apart, I was thinking, why the heck is my story important in this time? Then you immediately acknowledge that thought, axe it, and do the things that scare you. Yeah.
What's next for the piece?
Next, it depends on grants, because grants are great for artists who want to perform. What I'm really hoping to do is to get the grant money, and like the grant money that the National Theatre School of Canada gave me, it's putting into a file. What I want to do is I want to invite back my team, Marshall, Kay, and Nick, and we're going to work on making the show with. We're going to rework it from the first rendition to even now. There are things where I'm like, okay, the songs, I need to actually be in the same room with Nick. He was working on it completely away from me, having phone calls, but that's not the same thing as being in the studio with him. So I would like to rework the songs or work to make them better, create a mini album with those songs. Then I want to look at the script and sit down with, again, my team, and think of ways to make it more theatrical, for stage, for the presence. I want this show to be something that I can easily tour with everything in one bin, and just with my team, and bring them with me to newer heights. I've always said this, Ghost Return to Mourning. Ghost is the series, is my life series, the autobiography of my life. Return to Mourning is just one part of the series. I see this show being more extensive. I see playing with shadows and lights and everything to cast the ghosts. And yeah, I have like far-reaching goals alongside that, but also with the Ghost series itself, I want to share different parts of the story of my life. Yeah. But right now it's just, you have to pay. Other thing, emerging artists, pace yourself. Know that you can't get everything done today. So the next thing is hopefully get this grant money to rework the show for more than a month with all my team members and just make it tight.
And do you plan on recording the music in a studio and releasing that as well?
Yeah. So I want to record it. I was thinking, I'm not too sure. I've never, like I said, this is the thought. I've never recorded a CD or made something like that. But I have other songs in the working that I'm thinking I could slide in there after the fact. But I want to create the mini album to take with me to shows too, through donation, give to people. Or, I don't know, would you guys be interested in having a mini album to download online? I guess this is the audience to ask. I don't really know. I would do it if it yields anything. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I want to record them.
So in terms of what's next for the piece is a mini album that folks can download after being in the studio with Nicholas Boley.
Yeah.
And touring the show.
Hopefully, yeah.
Letting the world hear the story, but also expanding the universe within the play.
Yeah. All these things. See, Marshall, concise, beautiful. And honestly, even with my synopsis, I can be very me, very poetic when I write. It was Marshall who wrote the synopsis, reworked my words. See, this is why you need a good team. You need people to take your ideas and be like, great, that's perfect. This is what you need to do to actually make it legible to other people. Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Great job. Everybody who is watching says that you're doing an amazing job, and they can't wait to see how the story expands, and they are anticipating the album to download.
Really? Okay, so now I have to put that in my schedule to check. Okay, we'll make the album downloadable. It'll probably be Deeds the Performer. I imagine that to be my music handle. Here's the thing. I like to work with egos because I don't have confidence to just be myself on stage. So the performer, Deeds the Performer, is the music persona of me. Yeah.
Going forward, we
Yes.
are in this time of physical distancing and stuff. Do you plan to do more things like this with the piece?
As in lives and such going?
Lives or other virtual performances of the piece or stuff like that?
I would definitely be interested. I kind of want to like follow the process of the piece. So if you're in the group, please don't just click off now that you've seen the live. I'm hoping to make videos that follow this show's performance, but I would love showing other things. So for an example, the show, I was in a touring Fringe show this past summer, The Robber Bridegroom with Chimera Theater. It's now in partnership with Jupiter Theater? I think, yes, Jupiter. Correct me if I'm wrong. And that's going to be released on YouTube May 2nd for you to actually see that show. So I want to promote as many shows as I can, and I want to continue doing stuff and creating things while we can't leave our home, because why not? We're also hoping, say this at every chance I get, because one day it'll be true, to bring back Good Deeds with Marshall, me and Marshall Viel's podcast, and reinvigorate it and just give out free entertainment to you all, lovely people, because you deserve it. And yeah. Oh, I think I also have I'm in a short film that's coming out in May, possibly, if things are going. I don't know. I haven't talked to the director since we finished filming, the day before everything shut down in the world. So that's coming out, if we spoke, on Talus Optic. Things. See? Emerging artists, you just do stuff, and then suddenly in a month you have all these things to be excited about. And you're like, oh, I forgot I did that. And then you get a rewatch and cringe at yourself.
Great. Any last thoughts? Before we wrap things up together, everybody's just praising the show. The video. They're praising the performance.
I almost want to be like, can I have donations? No.
I mean, are you accepting donations? Yeah. And where do you accept those?
If you want to donate
folks
to
follow the show's progress on social media, or can they send questions or concerns to an email? Can they expect to see more stuff like this down the road?
Okay. All right.
Plug yourself. Where can folks find you?
So many things. Okay. I will just say there is our official email, ghost.return2.morning@gmail. It's on the group page. You can, if you want, you can send your letters, concerns, questions, inquiries, conversation, just anything you want, donations if you want, to that email. All of that and any donations will go into a fund for when we begin the next steps to make this show better. You can follow the group. You can follow I guess you can follow me too, and I'll be releasing after this my original team's bios and everything, so you can follow their own social media and everything, just to see from their perspective what they're doing in their life, because they're an amazing team. But as for me, I have the Facebook group, Ghost Return to Mourning. I have the email I told you about, anything. And any donations, I don't keep, I just put it into the show to do stuff like that. And then my personal Instagram is at deedsof4, so at DEEDSOF 4, the number 4. And you can follow me there. Yeah, I also have a Twitter, but I just post random things on there. Don't follow me on Twitter. Don't. It's not worth it. And yeah, let's just stay up to date. I'll keep you up to date. I mean, I got nothing better to do with my life. Who knows what will be happening with this? I believe the National Theatre School of Canada said that they just partnered with another group where they're going to look at the projects of the original 100 artists they chose to be a part of the Art Apart program, and I don't know, maybe do something, pick 20 and do something even more with their projects. That could be me. That could not be me. I don't know. Until then, please follow. I can't say please. You're already supporting by watching this. Write me a letter. I like reading them. Lets me know I'm not alone. Till then, goodbye. Also, I just want to say this. I didn't do, as I'm Métis, I didn't want to do a land acknowledgement just because it always feels like weird doing it, but I do want to say that my home is Calgary, making Treaty 7 territories, and I am extremely happy that the community and everyone has always welcomed me into this territory. Born in Lac La Biche. Treaty 4, but now I'm Treaty 7. Alright, keep supporting your local artists, or don't, do whatever you want. I ain't your boss. Bye. I'll leave this up for a bit so people can watch it. I don't know what to do.
Turn it off? Okay. Push end? Push stop recording?
What if it hasn't been on this entire time? Okay. Oh yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you, the team that invited me a part of Art Apart.